Hi there and welcome to Vlogging Friday. If you have watched Special Monday this week, you know that I have done a 3.5 day diet. Well, not a normal diet, but a healthy diet. And the typical Western diet for me would include potatoes, bread, pasta, cheese, milk, and that for me would be healthy food. It's actually science that tells us in school that's healthy food. It's what you need to eat. They also tell us that we do need meat, we do need eggs, we do need nuts, we do need vegetables, we do need fruits, but we also need we do need something like bread, we do need something like pasta, we do need something like potatoes, but we don't need that at all. That's what I feel from the experience I had. So science is telling us the wrong story, I feel. Perhaps there's some truth that we do need some carbs and more than we would find in a stereotypical Asian diet, and I'm also only referring to it as an Asian diet because the stereotypical image is just very clear. It's just rice, vegetables, fruit, some meat, some nuts, some eggs, perhaps some fish, and that's it. Nothing of the junk that we have in supermarkets. No sodas, no coffee, no, you name it. Um, yeah, so I went on this healthy diet for 3.5 days, and initially I was just going for 2 days because I knew about after 24 hours there would be benefits, so I would have the experience of healthy food and feeling healthier the second day, and I thought, okay, that's enough. But on the second day I decided, okay, it's going to be 3.5 days. So I wrote a blog on this, very elaborate. It took me a couple of hours to write, but I was very happy to write this blog because this diet it really changed my mind immensely on the Western diet. You can read it if you follow the link in the description box, and it might be helpful to you. I really advise this Asian diet to everyone, but before you try this out, please advise a nutritionist, please advise a doctor. I'm not a nutrition expert, but I do speak from experience that I felt better on this diet. There might be some things that I was missing nutrition wise, but I didn't really notice any lack. I felt more energetic, and while I was lacking some sleep and I didn't catch up with the sleep that I was lacking, on this healthy diet I didn't feel sleepy until the evening, except for after some exercise. I did feel sleepy after that for about 10 to 15 minutes, but that feeling subsided and I felt awake until the evening. But the fourth day, for dinner I decided to eat pasta. I regretted that immensely. It felt like I had somehow swallowed a brick. I felt unmotivated, I felt sleepy, and I felt like that for a couple of hours. So even when this feeling of being extremely full was gone, I was still feeling worse than I was feeling on the healthy diet. So yeah, all in all, I just can advise eating healthy. It's really something I can advise. It's really, you really won't regret it. You won't overeat, and if you overeat, it's only because you want to. It's not like it's not like I'm tricked into eating more on this diet. On the third day I did eat more than I should have eaten, but I didn't regret it. It was just tasty, and the next morning I simply wasn't hungry, so I didn't eat much the next morning, and that's it. Um, I didn't eat too many calories, I think, on this diet. I lost a bit of weight, actually. It might have been because of the 2 bicycle trips I went on. Actually, I did the weight in on the third day after having eaten too much. Um, but I was not aiming for weight loss. I was just aiming for the health benefit. Um, Also, when you go to the supermarket, you will notice when you are in this mindset of a healthy eating person, you just see a lot of junk. And when you go for the healthy foods and you search for biological, free range, ecological, those kind of labels, you won't find them very much. You won't find very many of those labels. And that to me was really a problem. But I thought, okay, well, at least these are healthy foods and they make you feel better. But non-genetic manipulated foods, they're hard to find, and non-hormone treated meat is hard to find. But hey, at least it's a lot healthier than the Western diet I would usually be on. Um, yeah, so the fourth day I downed some pasta and I felt sleepier, and today I still feel bad. Still feel sleepier. I had 8 hours of sleep for 4 nights, but still, hey, I feel sleepier now than I felt yesterday. So that's really a cause of the Western diet. It's not because I slept too few these days. It's just the lack of sleep that I still have is now what I feel. But on the healthy diet is not something I really experienced as much of a problem. Um, so yeah, it's just really strange that here in the West we are advised to eat potatoes and bread, milk, and cheese, because that's not really what we need, it seems. But it is what is grown here a lot in the West. So it does need to be consumed. Perhaps that's why we are being told in schools that that's what we need to eat, that science actually tells that that is healthy. But I don't think that bread and potatoes especially are beneficial to our health. Perhaps milk out of those 4 foods is the only thing that might benefit us. But yeah, perhaps we do need just more carbs, but we don't need as much as we consume usually. So yeah. As for defecation, because that's definitely something I need to discuss. The defecation I had at night on day 1 was a bit unpleasant, but I figured it was just the crap, the junk that had to come out from the previous day from my unhealthy Western diet. And so that's the reason I didn't really mind having a bit problem with my defecation. The second day and the third day my defecation was a bit watery. It was no problem going to the toilet, but yeah, it just was a bit watery. Um, I didn't mind it at all because there was a good health benefit. I just felt much better. But the thing is, if you don't like watery defecation, you don't need to be on this diet, because apparently watery defecation is what you will, or slightly watery defecation is what you will have for a couple of weeks. I know that from someone else who has been on a healthier diet for a couple of weeks, and this is what he experienced too, but for a couple of weeks. Um, So yeah, if you fear watery defecation, if you fear change, this is not something you want to try out. But when you know how much better you feel on a healthy diet, you really don't mind at all. So yeah, um, yeah. Overall, what I can say is just it's wonderful. And for the next couple of days, perhaps weeks, I will be eating rice in the morning instead of bread, and I don't expect that that will be much of a change feeling wise, because I will be eating a typical Western dinner in the evenings. Um, Perhaps not all evenings, but yeah. So perhaps I might feel a bit better just before dinner, and then I will feel bad instantly when I'm done with dinner. So there is not really going to be much of a benefit feeling wise, I think. But now I still eat with my parents, one time with my dad, the other time with my mother, and what I eat for dinner depends on what my parents decide to eat. But once I live in a room of my own again, I will eat rice every evening again, simply because the benefit of feeling better is just so great. You don't feel sleepy, you don't feel unmotivated, which is something you do feel on a Western diet. Um, so yeah, I can really recommend eating healthy. Um, Try it out for 2 days. I'm sure you won't regret it, and I think 2 days won't do any harm. But if you are warned, if you have any conditions, if you have any health concern, please do go visit a nutritionist, go visit a doctor, and be advised before you try this out, even though they will only be like 2 days or 3 days. Um, what I do have to advise you though is eat enough. I didn't um, eat more than I felt hungry, except for today, but I didn't regret that. Don't eat less than you feel like eating, because on a healthy diet you simply eat as much as you need, and then you're done, and you know that you know when you're done. You won't overeat on a healthy diet. Um, but you shouldn't go under eating, because otherwise you might lack some nutritions. Make sure you eat plenty of vegetables, you eat plenty of fruit, you eat plenty of eggs, plenty of meat, nuts. You need fats, you need proteins, you need a good nutrition. So eat a good variation of different things. You don't want to be eating vegetables and fruits only for 2 days, and then find out later that, hey, actually you needed rice or you needed eggs. Or go all out and include the whole thing of what you are allowed to eat on this healthy diet. So do eat rice, do eat vegetables, do eat fruit, do eat meat or fish, do eat nuts, do eat eggs, because you don't want to be lacking anything nutrition wise. So if you want to try this out without advising anyone on a diet like this, please include everything into the diet. That's just something I do want to advise. But yeah, when you are on a Western diet, you might be lacking something nutrition wise, because you do feel sleepier. So I'm thinking that is for a reason. Perhaps it's just because you eat too many carbs. Um, but yeah, uh, whatever the reason, a healthy diet is just feeling wise, it's much better than a Western diet. So yeah, I could ramble on and on, but I think it's much better to just read the blog that I've written. You can find in the description box. Took me a couple of hours to write, but I would write it over and over and over again if that would mean more and more people would read it, and more and more people would try out a healthy diet. Because really, eating healthier really means feeling a lot better. And for me, hearing that over and over again for me was not the motivation to go eat healthier. It was like I was taking showers, and someday I suddenly realized, hey, I don't really feel too great when taking warm showers, so I started taking cold showers. And what I was noticing was the feeling in my stomach. I was paying more attention to how I was feeling in my belly area, and I just didn't like what I was feeling. So that's actually why I tried out this healthy diet, to see if this annoying bugging feeling in my stomach would go away if I would be on a healthy diet. And yeah, sure enough, that feeling went away. Um, so I had proper motivation from myself, and you really need motivation if you are going to eat a healthy diet suddenly, if you have never done it for more than 24 hours. Yeah, I could go rambling on and on, but it's just much better to go and read my blog if you're interested in more. So yeah, if you have been watching this entire video, thank you for watching, and I really sincerely do hope you try out a healthy diet soon.